Hey guys, yeah, guess what today is? Friday! What that means for tomorrow? Last episode of Young Justice! Am I the only one that doesn't think that it's a coincidence that today's Friday the 13th and tomorrow's the last episode of Young Justice? Oh, okay, it's Friday the 15th. There goes that theory. So I'm gonna talk about Young Justice. If I'm gonna talk about Young Justice, I need to be wearing something a bit more Young Justice-y. So I did my eyes, and yes, I think I've kind of gotten into the whole, yay, I like doing my eye makeup. Nothing else for these videos, not really as much in public, because that's just kind of weird. Don't know if you can read that. Got feeling the Aster. So anyway, I was actually considering just before not doing a long version, but I kind of wanted to because I've been talking to my mum and I mentioned it. And we just got to talking and that kind of stuff, and I figured that I really want to say how much this show means to me and what it really represents to me. The reason is that I can talk to all my friends and they'll just be like, one day I'll say like Young Justice, they'll be like, what's that about? And they don't know, and that kind of sucks, because I guess when I find something that I love so much, I want everyone to know about it, and I want everyone to kind of share in the joy that this show brings me. And I guess the reason that it means so much to me is, as I said before, it's introduced me to so many things. Quite a lot of things that I imagine, I'm not going to necessarily say my life would be lost without it, but it's there are so many things that I can attribute to it that have brought me so much joy recently and continue to give me something to work towards, give me something to do to make me feel like I'm not just like wasting my time here. So I figure I'd go kind of quickly into kind of some of the stuff that it's gotten me into. As I previously stated when I did my Hythe kind of thing, I got into Young Justice and I got into Hythe and I got into all of Inner Lion Theatre cosplay, and the reason is I was looking at Young Justice reviews and then I saw that, and then I saw like cosplay tutorials and I was like, oh my god, I could actually do this. It gave me the confidence. And that's pretty much the first thing. It really got me into the idea that I could cosplay. I'll be perfectly honest, at this point in time, I haven't really done any cosplays that I'm really kind of proud of yet, but the fact that I've just gotten into it itself is quite the milestone. Next got me into the idea of cons, because that's where you show off your cosplay, and I couldn't get into the first con that well, I could, but I figured that I'd be kicked out of the first one that I got into because it was Oz Comic Con and it was going to be super busy. Instead, I went to an anime convention. That was like one of the best days of my life. It was my first convention, which was amazing because you're essentially there and there are thousands of people that have very like-minded thoughts. Got me into cosplay, and of course it was an anime convention, so I had to get back into anime, and I've been loving it. I've seen some of the best shows I've ever seen have been in the last couple of months. They've been anime, and what's more, it's gotten me into a whole group of new friends, and I'm actually amazed that I ended up becoming friends with them, because most of the people, like a good chunk of the people in the group, I like hated. Like, for example, there was this one who, she probably knows who she is, but she was absolutely like crazy off the wall. Don't get me wrong, I love someone who's ecstatic. Like, for example, I did like projects for like the library and she just like messed them up and everything, and I'd be just like, ah! And I got into anime and I got into this group. I still think she's a little full on with anime, to the point where at one point she said the fact that I'm in an anime group with all girls, she likened it to a harem, which wouldn't be so awkward if it weren't for the fact that I've never had a girlfriend. And I've really connected with her. I'm quite shocked at the fact that we're actually fairly close, and we actually like miss seeing each other and stuff. And I thought, like, if I left school, she'd be the last thing I cared about. It's also got me into Tumblr fandom, because I very much consider this to be my first official fandom, because there are so many shows that I've been into and I've kind of recently kind of realised that, oh, these were shows that even though I wasn't in the fandom, I was just like, oh my god, this is the best show, and I'd watch every episode like 5 times. And it's just a really good feeling, because even though, and I think the reason that it means so much to me is there are so many people who are more than willing to say that, oh, it's just a show and, oh, it's not important or anything. And I just think that you should never listen to those people, because if you like something, you like something. Admittedly, there are times where you have to go, okay, I'm crying at a kid's show, what is happening with my life? But it's your life, it's no one else's. And I think just the idea that there's a whole Tumblr fandom and there's cons and there's cosplays and all this just overly encapsulating nerdy people and nerdy group of people that, as a general rule, you don't see like in day-to-day life. Like always there's this stereotype of nerds getting bullied and just being like all massive glasses and like pocket protectors and stuff, and yet I like the idea that you can just log on to something, or you can go to a convention and you can just kind of feel at home and feel like you don't really have the social pressures of everything, and it's just a really good feeling. Anyway guys, that's basically all I wanted to say. I'm really sad that this show's ending. I'm really hoping that the fandom doesn't end. I mean, of course there will be other shows, but I mean, it's nothing really like your first fandom, I guess, and the many things that have occurred because of it. Anyway guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna release a couple of things about Young Justice and just... Anyway guys, I'll see you Sunday.